Each of us enters this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day to make the world a better place. Shabbat Shalom. Sorry about a small technical hiccup. I believe we've got it straightened out now. Luckily, as I am always encouraged to mention, we've got Amadeus and Karsten Dutremain who are helping us with the technology, without whom we would not be able to do any of what we're doing. Of course, while it is wonderful to be joined by those of you who are here in person this evening, it is also wonderful for all of you who are joining us from whatever distance you are joining, from your own homes, here in the valley, out around the state or around the country. I don't think I can say around the world. I don't know if we have any viewers. We may very well have viewers that are watching from far-flung places around the world. If you are, send me an email. Let me know. I would love to be able to share just the fact that we've got somebody joining us from wherever it is you are. If you think you might be the furthest away from McAllen, Texas, where we're physically located, send me an email. Let me know so that we can share your story and so that we can be sure to include you in part of our community. We begin with a song recognizing how wonderful it is that we have this privilege of being able to pray together this Shabbat. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense those qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love one another, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Ma yafe hayom Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat Shalom. As we welcome the presence of Shabbat with this mystical chant of Lecha Dodi, we welcome the presence of Shabbat as though we were welcoming a bride into the room with all of the joy, with all of the kavanah, the attention, with all of the respect and honor that we would give of a bride walking into the room. And so we begin in song, and as we reach the final verse, I will let you know to please rise. And please rise whether you are here in the temple sanctuary or you are in the sanctuary that you have sanctified in your own home. We will rise and turn toward the entrance of whatever room it is you are praying from this evening when we reach the final verse, and I will let you know. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin u'smol tifrotzi, V'et Adonai ta'ariti, Al yad ish ben parti, V'nismecha v'nagila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, Gam besimcha uv'sola, Toch emunei am segula, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Please be seated. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל בחתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעלמה, ואמרו Amen. We rise now as we join together in prayer in our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. Yalalai lai lai, yalalai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivud Malchuto Le'olam Voed. You may be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We read together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot hosef eleh, nora tehilot hosef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו יד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and let us rise up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing, for you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai haporeh sukat shalom עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. We rise now as we stand before God's presence in prayer, in our communal and individual prayers of the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Hasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל HaKadosh. You may be seated. shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yimeru. Amen. As I studied that famous account of the 12 scouts in this week's Parsha, Shalach Lecha, you shall send, I came across an interview from the late Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Zecher Tzadik Libracha. Just a year ago, he offered this insight mere months before his death. I was so moved by his words and his unique mind and unique interpretation that I would like to share his words with you this evening. He writes, "We think we know the story. Moses sent 12 spies to spy out the land. 10 of them came back with a negative report. The land is good but unconquerable. The people are strong, the city is impregnable, the inhabitants are giants, and we are grasshoppers. Only 2 of the men, Joshua and Caleb, took a different view. We can win. The land is good. God is on our side. With his help, we cannot fail." On this reading, Joshua and Caleb had faith, courage, and confidence, while the other 10 did not. But this is hard to understand. The 10, not just Joshua and Caleb, knew that God was with them. He had crushed Egypt. The Israelites had defeated the Amalekites. How could these 10 leaders, princes, not know that they could defeat the inhabitants of the land? What if the story were not this at all? What if it's not about faith, confidence, or courage? What if it's not about what's going on, understanding the situation? What if it is about what's going on, understanding the situation, and what happens if you don't? The Torah tells us that this is the correct reading, and it signals in the most striking way. Biblical Hebrew, you see, has 2 verbs that mean to spy, lachpor and leragel, from which we get the word meraglim, spies. We often call them the 12 meraglim. Neither of these words appear in our parsha at all, and that is the point. Instead, no less than 12 times we encounter an unusual verb, latur. It was revived in modern Hebrew, and it means, and also sounds like, to tour. Tayar is a tourist. There is all the difference in the world between a tourist and a spy. Malbim explains the difference simply. Latour means to seek the good. That is what tourists do. They go to the beautiful, the majestic, the inspiring. They don't spend their time trying to find out what is bad. Lachpur and laragel are the opposite. They are about searching out a place's weaknesses and vulnerabilities. That is what spying is about. The exclusive use of the verb latur in our parsha, repeated 12 times, is there to tell us that the 12 men were not sent to spy, but only 2 understood this. Almost 40 years later, when Moses retells the episode in Devarim chapter 1, 22 through 24, he does use the verbs lachpor and leragel. In Genesis 42, when the brothers come before Joseph in Egypt to buy food, he accuses them of being meraglim, of being spies, a word that appears 7 times in that one chapter. He also defines what it means to be a spy. You have come to see the nakedness of the land, i.e., where it is undefended. The reason 10 of the 12 men came back with a negative report is not because they lacked courage, confidence, or faith. It was because they completely misunderstood their mission. They thought they had been sent to be spies. But the Torah never uses the word spy in our chapter. The 10 simply did not understand what was going on. They believed it was their role to find the nakedness of the land, where it was vulnerable, where its defenses could be overcome. They looked and they could not find. The people were strong, the cities impregnable. The bad news about the land was that there was not enough bad news to make it weak and thus conquerable. They thought that their task was to be spies, and they did their job. They were honest and open. They reported what they had seen. Based on the intelligence they'd gathered, they advised the people not to attack, not now and not from here. Their mistake was that they were not meant to be spies. They were told latur, not lachpor or laragel. Their job was to tour, explore, travel, see what the land was like and report back. They were to see what was a good land and what was good about the land, not what was bad. So they were not meant to be spies, then what was the purpose of their mission? The 12 were sent latur, to explore and to report on the good things of the land so that the people would know what made it worth fighting for. Their task was to tour and explore, not spy and decry, but only 2 of them, Joshua and Caleb, listened carefully and understood what their mission was. To be the eyes of the congregation, letting them know the beauty and the goodness of what lay ahead. The land that had been their destiny since the days of their ancestor Abraham. The Israelites at this stage did not need spies. As Moses said so many years later, you did not trust in the Lord your God, who went ahead of you in your journey in fire by night and cloud by day to search out places for you to camp and show you the way you should go. God was going to show them where to go and where to attack. The people needed something else entirely. Moses had told them that the land was good. He had told them it was a land flowing with milk and honey. But Moses had never seen the land. Moses had never seen the land, so why should they believe him? They needed independent testimony of eyewitnesses. That was the mission of the 12, and in fact, all 12 fulfilled that mission. When they returned, the first thing they said was, we went to the land that you sent us, and indeed, it does flow with milk and honey. Here is its fruit. They carried bunches of grapes so large that they had to put them on a stick and carry them between two men. And in fact, this is now the symbol of the Israel tourism ministry. If you look at any of the tourist posters of Israel, you see this emblem. But because 10 of them thought their task was to be spies, they went on to say that the conquest was impossible, and from then on, tragedy was inevitable. The difference between the 10 and Joshua and Caleb is not that the latter had faith, courage, confidence, and the former did not. It is that they understood their story, and the 10 did not. 10 of the 12 men thought they were part of a story of espionage. The result was that they looked for the wrong things, came to the wrong conclusions, demoralized the people, destroyed the hope of an entire generation, and will eternally be remembered as responsible for one of the worst failures in Jewish history. As we reflect on this analysis of leadership and understanding one's mission, we cannot help but reflect on our own place and our own mission. How much have we decided in our life today on the basis of fixed assumptions? How often do we challenge ourselves to re-examine our intentions and our thought process? How often do we search out weakness and fault in others and in the world around us, rather than appreciating God's creation? How can we begin to shift toward a better and more appreciative understanding of our role in this creation? Shabbat Shalom. We take a moment at this time in our service to say a prayer of healing for all of those who are in need of healing. We ask for God's presence to be with those around the world who are affected by acts of violence, especially in the land of Israel and its neighbors. We ask for God to watch over all those who have been affected by natural disasters. We ask for God to be with our first responders and members of our armed services. May God watch over them as they watch over and protect us. And we ask for God's healing presence to be especially with Tal Hazon, Jacob Hazon, Mayor Ben Esther, James Dutremaine, Yolanda Easley, Oscar Garcia, Yosef Ben Matilde, Victoria Fishman, Tchoni Bat Malka, Alan Fishman, Ilan Ben Tchoni, Devralea Bat Zipa, Conchita Espino, Mike Ginsberg, Norma Einhorn, Patty Landsman, Judy Franklin, and Anthony Lark. If there is someone you are praying for at this time who is in need of healing, please say their name aloud as I look towards you. You may also post their name in the chat or say their name in your heart, and God will hear. We join together in this prayer of healing. Mi sheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May God's healing come swiftly and soon to all those who are in need of healing, as we say, Amen. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another, to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and in spirit. Amen. Avinu Shabbat Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. We rise now as we enter the concluding portion of our service for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושבי קרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, עמד מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. There are stars up above, so far away that we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. At this time in our community, we remember those who have died in the past year, including Leon Wernick, Myrna Levine, Charlene Hertz, Sergei Bernier, Eugenio Colon, Norma Rabinovich, Shendel Bat Avraham Befegi, Rodrigo Diaz, John Brown, Dora Goldberg Friedman, Sephora Bat Avraham, Lionel Getz, Labesh Yehuda Ben Pincha, Lenora Nodi Pearson Jantz, Dr. Marco Antonio Treu Ruiseco, Michelle Bernstein, Juanita Sraber Kaufman, and Stuart Klein. We also remember those whose yahrzeits occur this week, including Leon Wernick, Dr. Liesel Tenser, Leon Shapiro, and Dora Fishman. If you are mourning someone at this time, please rise as you say their name and remain standing. If it is your custom, please rise as we say the mourner's Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal shemei dekudesha v'richu. Le'ela min kol bi'achata v'shirata. Tushbehata v'nehemata za'amiram be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel and all the world, to which we say Amen. You may be seated. And we do have a few announcements. This will be my last Shabbat here in the sanctuary, at least for a little while. Of course, I'll be here tomorrow morning. We have, as always, we have Torah study at 9 o'clock. That's still Zoom only. And we'll have services here in the sanctuary at 10:30. You may also join those services and any of our services by Zoom, by YouTube, by Facebook, or on our website. After that, it's my honor to be welcoming many of our members of our community who are volunteering to lead services every Friday, every Saturday, including Torah study on Saturday mornings. so that we will have no interruption of services over the course of this summer. We have an incredible community that we are able to do this. It is not every synagogue of this size that is able to continue services through the summer while the rabbi is on vacation. So we, of course, are so grateful and thankful to them, and we know that many aspects of leading services will be new to them, so we'll be patient. Even somebody with, ostensibly a little bit more experience, such as myself, as you saw at the beginning of the service, we still run into snags with the technology as we go along. Anybody who is joining us for this service, please if you didn't already get the notice, please do join me tomorrow here in the sanctuary immediately following our Shabbat morning service that usually ends around noon. And we will go over everything that you need to know as far as using the technology to lead the service, as well as a couple of plans if things go awry in the course of that service. We're not leaving you out in high water. There's some phrase like that. I'm getting a nod. Okay. We have a responsibility under Jewish law to protect one another, and with this in mind, if you are planning to attend services in person, please remember the following. Anyone experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 should continue attending services online. Wearing a mask covering your nose and mouth is required at all times while in the building. Though we are eager to spend time with one another, social distancing is required at all times. No lingering will be permitted either before or after services in the sanctuary or the foyer. Although, depending on the weather, I know people will sometimes chat out in the parking lot, where we know it's considered a little bit more safe being outdoors. And of course, I know many people are vaccinated, but at least as far as I know, we're not planning on checking for vaccination for anybody who's coming in the building at any point in the future. Children must remain with parents at all times, and although Rabbi Farb wishes to spend time with all of you on Shabbat, it's not always possible at this time. But I am available for meetings, individual appointments on weekdays or evenings. You can always call me even while I am on vacation. You can always reach me on my mobile in case of an emergency. And I hope that you won't hesitate to call me if it is an emergency. Please do reach out if there is anything urgent, even while I'm not here. In the meantime, of course, you can always call our office number and leave a message with Maria. You can always send me an email while I'm away, which I will be reading emails. I may not be able to respond to you the same day or either day. So if it is something urgent, be sure to reach out to me directly. As I mentioned, we have services and Torah study tomorrow morning as usual, and will continue throughout the summer. A few simchas this week. We want to wish a happy birthday to Keith Fox, whose birthday was on June 2nd. Happy birthday. As well as Danielle Fox, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday to you. I hope that you are joining us this evening. And if not, that you are doing something equally wonderful to celebrate this special day. It is also Debbie Morrow's birthday today. Happy birthday to you. And I want to mention that tomorrow will be Peter Avarak's birthday. Peter, if we see you in the morning, I'll wish you a happy birthday then. And certainly we hope that you have a wonderful week, month, and year ahead of you. For all of you who are celebrating birthdays today or this week, may it be a year filled with many blessings. May it be a year filled with everything that you need, every material thing and every spiritual thing that you need. May all of those things be fulfilled. May all of your birthday wishes come true, and may you fulfill in this coming year all of those wishes that you have for yourself, fulfilling the needs and wishes of those around you to improve this world, to make this world a better place, and to work toward a tikkun olam. If you know of any other simchas, any other happy celebrations like a birth, new home, promotion, or award, by the way, we'll be celebrating our new home in a couple of weeks. Linda's over here. She's deeply engaged with the prayer book, it looks like. I don't know. And of course, we'll be happy to share that information with anyone. We're not moving away; we're just moving across town. I shouldn't even say across town; just a different part of town. And we're very happy to hopefully be sharing and opening our home with folks as we emerge in this next year from the pandemic. All right. That's long enough for the announcements. If you hear of anything or if you know of anything that's going on in the community, let me know. While I'm away, call the office, let Maria know so that we can celebrate together as a community. Our closing song this evening is Adon Olam. Join with me. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa b'hefzo kol Azai melech shemo nika v'yacharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hove v'hu yeh b'tifara v'hu echad ve'en sheni להמשילו להכבירה ולי ראשית ולי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצורחב לי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום מקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי ואת אישן ויעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי Adonai li velo ira. Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy this day of rest, this day of holiness. Please be careful. Watch your step on your way out. And for those of you who are